Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Luther, the Fallen Son, and this is the sequel film to the series Luther, which pretty much made Idris Elba a big star when this came out back in 2010, and this is from director Jamie Payne and from writer-creator Neil Cross, who did create this series. And this focuses on Luther, who is now in prison for kind of taking the law into his own hands. But when he's put into prison, a horrible, sadistic, monstrous serial killer, played by Andy Serkis, winds up going on parade in London and doing some disturbing stuff to people, and some of the most sadistic things you might see in a serial killer story. And you have Cynthia Erivo, who's Odette Rain, who's the new, head investigator here, who's in great conflict with Luther, especially when he gets out of prison and starts going on the manhunt himself. And this film, I've never watched the show, so just to preface that, going in, I'm like, okay, this is Idris Elba, I'm pretty excited for this. He kills it. He is fantastic as Luther. He brings the physicality. He looks like he could beat the crap out of you. He holds his own in physical altercations, especially like you see him getting out of prison. When he's vulnerable and you see him in pain, Elba sells that perfectly. And you also see a character who's struggling with where he fits into life at this point, struggling with the decisions he made and how it's brought him to the point where he's at now, and what he really has to fight for. And Luther's such a fascinating lead character here. And then Erivo gives a great performance as well, who is, I do get a little frustrated. She is so dead set on just hating Luther and blaming Luther for everything in this movie. Even though I think it goes a little too far and it might be a little too on the nose with the writing. But Erivo gives so much humanity to this character. And speaking the opposite, Andy Serkis is absolutely disgusting, despicable, disturbing, and just, he is perfect in this film as this antagonist. And you shout out to Dermot Crowley, who plays Luther's mentor, who's brought back to help hunt him down. And he's so much fun. He has great dialogue. He really delivers those soft-spoken but pointed one-liners, and also he has a penchant for making people feel guilty. He's really good at it. And this cast is fantastic. This mystery is disturbing and unraveling, and you're stuck in it. You're on this thrill ride. You see horrifying visuals, like what Serkis's character winds up doing with his victims and how he sets them up to be found is haunting. There's one particular scene out in public, and the chaos that he winds up causing is horrifying. Now, there's some moments in that scene where the CGI doesn't really live up to the rest of the film, but you could get past it. Film's a little overlong, but the story's so fascinating and intense. This looks gorgeous and intense and sleek, and the music from Lorne Bouth is poignant and bam, hits you like a sledgehammer. And Larry Smith's cinematography is crisp and just striking throughout. This really does feel cinematic. It elevates over just being some based off of a TV show. This is an exciting, intense, well-acted, well-written, really great mystery thriller that had me on the edge of my seat the whole 2 hours, 9 minutes of this runtime. Highly recommend this. Head on over to Netflix or see this in theaters, but make sure that you check this sequel film out. But those are my thoughts on Luther, the Fallen Son. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.